Did you know that the Astroworld tragedy continues to make waves in the courtroom? In this video, we're breaking down the latest developments in the legal battle between Travis Scott and the victims of the 2021 Astroworld Festival. From the grand jury's decision to decline criminal charges to the settlement of nearly all lawsuits, we've got the full timeline and what it means for the future. Before we dive in, hit that like button, subscribe, and tap the notification bell so you never miss our updates on this ongoing case. Let's get into it. All wrongful death lawsuits officially settled. The one remaining wrongful death lawsuit filed after 10 people were killed during a deadly crowd crush at the 2021 Astroworld Music Festival has been settled, marking the end of a legal chapter that many thought would drag on for years. The final settlement involved the family of 9-year-old Isra Blount, who was the youngest victim of the tragedy. This closure came after months of negotiations and represents the last of the 10 wrongful death cases that emerged from the devastating night. The settlement terms remain confidential, following the pattern established by the previous 9 wrongful death settlements. These agreements were reached between the victims' families and multiple defendants, including Travis Scott, Live Nation Entertainment, and other parties involved in organizing the festival. The fact that all parties agreed to settle out of court speaks of the complexity of the case and the desire to avoid prolonged public litigation that would have been emotionally taxing for all involved. What makes this particularly significant is that these settlements prevent Travis Scott from facing the intense scrutiny of a jury trial, where he would have been subjected to cross-examination about his role in the tragedy and his response during the fatal crowd surge. Mass settlement of injury lawsuits. Beyond the wrongful death cases, Scott and concert partner Live Nation settled personal injury suits involving nearly 100 additional plaintiffs just days before what would have been a highly publicized civil trial. This massive settlement wave demonstrates the defendant's strategy to resolve the litigation without the unpredictable outcomes that jury trials can bring. The injury lawsuits represented a broad spectrum of physical and psychological harm suffered by festival attendees. Many survivors reported lasting trauma from being caught in the deadly crowd surge, with some requiring ongoing medical treatment for injuries sustained during the chaos. The psychological impact has been equally devastating, with many attendees developing anxiety, depression, and post-traumatic stress disorder related to their experience at the festival. The timing of these settlements is particularly noteworthy, as they were reached just before scheduled trial dates, suggesting that both sides recognize the risks involved in proceeding to court. For the plaintiffs, settlements provided guaranteed compensation without the uncertainty of trial outcomes. For the defendants, settlements eliminated the risk of potentially massive jury awards and the negative publicity that would have accompanied weeks of testimony about the tragedy. Criminal charges avoided. One of the most significant developments in this case occurred when a Harris County grand jury declined to indict Scott on criminal charges. This decision was reached after extensive investigation by law enforcement agencies, including the Houston Police Department and the Harris County District Attorney's Office. The grand jury reviewed evidence, witness testimony, and expert analyses to determine whether criminal charges were warranted. The decision not to pursue criminal charges was controversial, with some victims' families and their attorneys expressing disappointment. They argued that Scott's actions during the performance, including his failure to stop the show despite visible signs of distress in the crowd, constituted criminal negligence. However, the grand jury ultimately concluded that the evidence did not support criminal charges beyond a reasonable doubt. The Netflix documentary factor. The recent release of Netflix's Trainwreck, The Astroworld Tragedy, has brought renewed attention to the case, though it came after most settlements were already finalized. The documentary presents a comprehensive examination of the events leading up to and during the tragedy, featuring interviews with survivors, first responders, and industry experts. The Astroworld crowd crush ended with a death toll of 10, but the documentary reveals the broader scope of the tragedy, including the hundreds of people who were injured and the thousands who were traumatized by the experience. The film explores the systemic failures that contributed to the disaster, from inadequate crowd control measures to insufficient emergency response protocols. Financial impact and industry changes. While the exact settlement amounts remain confidential, industry analysts estimate that the total payouts likely reached hundreds of millions of dollars when combining the wrongful death settlements, injury settlements, and associated legal costs. This massive financial impact has reverberated throughout the live entertainment industry, leading to significant changes in how festivals and concerts are planned and executed. Insurance companies have dramatically increased premiums for large-scale events, and many venues have implemented enhanced safety protocols. The Astroworld tragedy has become a case study in event management programs, with organizers now required to develop more comprehensive crowd control plans and emergency response procedures. Lasting legal precedent. The Astroworld settlements have established important legal precedents for how courts handle mass casualty events at entertainment venues. The coordination of thousands of individual lawsuits into manageable settlement negotiations has created a framework that other courts may follow in similar cases. The use of confidential settlements, while controversial, has become a standard approach for resolving complex entertainment industry litigation. The case has also highlighted the importance of clear liability allocation in event planning. The settlements involved multiple defendants, each with different levels of responsibility, from the artist and promoter to security companies and venue operators. This complex web of liability has led to more detailed contractual agreements in the entertainment industry, with clearer definitions of each party's responsibilities for crowd safety. Current status and future implications, with all major litigation now resolved. Travis Scott has been able to resume his career, though the tragedy continues to cast a shadow over his public image. He has returned to performing and has been gradually rebuilding his relationship with fans in the music industry. However, the settlements do not erase the responsibility that comes with being a performer capable of influencing large crowds. The victims' families, while finding some measure of closure through the settlements, continue to advocate for improved safety measures at live events. Many have become vocal supporters of enhanced crowd safety regulations and have worked with lawmakers to develop legislation aimed at preventing future tragedies. So what's next for Travis Scott and the Astroworld victims? With the majority of lawsuits settled and no criminal charges filed, the legal chapter seems to be closing. But the public conversation, that's just getting started. What do you think? Did justice prevail, or is there more to this story? Let us know in the comments below. And if you found this breakdown helpful, give us a thumbs up, share it with friends, and don't forget to subscribe for more in-depth analyses. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.